Jampa Chopel, an Australian Tibetan Buddhist monk, attended a conference on quantum physics with the Dalai Lama recently. Here, he is interviewed by Jang Jaswal, who had a profound near-death experience and is in northern India asking questions to clarify what he experienced.
How does it relates to after death and rebirth? How does quantum physics relate to it?
No, so that's the difficulty in quantum physics at the moment, in that quantum physics doesn't accept this notion of mind that we have in Tibetan Buddhism, that one's experience or one's mind is clear and knowing and non-material. So to say something is non-material in science is a big no-no.
It doesn't exist.
That's right. Yeah. So you can't measure it, then you know. But what quantum physics is finding at the moment is things come into existence once they're measured.
Come again?
Things come into existence once they're measured.
Oh, when they are measured.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this indicates subjectivity.
Yes.
And a lack of objectivity, which is similar to what we find in the high schools of Tibetan Buddhism, the Prasangika Majjhimika view.
Yeah. I heard something about some subatomic particles.
Yes.
They behave on the how the observer thinks.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Heisenberg principle that states that an electron's momentum and its position can't be measured simultaneously. Like there's some weird thing going on there that the physicists have discovered. So this has kind of led to a lot of questions about what's really going on. So if you can't measure two things at the same time, and an observer being there affects the results that are obtained, this is kind of where they're going with quantum physics. Yeah.
Myself, I have a hard time understanding that part of the physics, like particles. Sometimes sometimes it has a wave nature, and sometimes it has a particle nature of electrons or whatever, particles, light, photons, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I mean, like a wave is basically energy, whereas a particle is like has some spatial context. So they're two different entities, and there's such a thing that I found out in this conference called the double split experiment. So when they engage in this experiment, if there's an observer, if the observer being like a measurement in the process of this double slit experiment, then the results are different if there is no observer. And the electron will display the characteristics of a wave, or as a particle.
Depending on the observation.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting stuff.
It's very interesting. I did a little bit of physics in my times, but nothing like whatever we are talking about.
Sure.
Yeah. See, I had a near-death experience when I had my transplant surgery, heart and kidney surgery. I found myself in some other realm altogether. You might have heard about near-death experiences earlier. How Buddhism relates to these kind of things?
Yeah, so...
what your input on this one is?
Sure, yeah. So Buddhists believe in a bardo state of being after death. So after dying, I mean, in the West, once the breath stops, the heart stops.
Yeah, cardiac death is death.
That's clinical death.
Yes.
But as Buddhists, we don't believe that's the end, the final death. So we believe that after the breath stops and the heart stops, then we are reborn into a bardo state, as a bardo being. So this is like a being that's similar to the being that will take a rebirth in the future, in the next life. So in this state, the being can have, I think, 7 deaths up to a period of 7 days each. So there's a maximum amount of time of 49 days of being in the bardo, depending on one's karma.
Mm-hmm.
And once those 49 days are up, then the being takes a rebirth in a
takes
new life.
place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that period between the end of the death of this life and the beginning of the rebirth in the next life is this bardo state that we believe in Buddhism.
When you talk about days, like 7 days for one particular life, and there's 7 lives, 49 days. What I think about days, to me, if you look from the space, if you are in a space and you look down, days and nights, they lose their importance, isn't it? There are no days, no nights, kind of a thing.
Right, sure. I mean, I think from the perspective of the being who has died, the uncontrolled death of a being into the bardo state could be very unfamiliar and like a dream. So
Yes.
time would most likely be irrelevant because in a
That-
dream,
that's
in
the
a-
point I was coming to.
yeah, in a dream we're kind of not
You don't
sort
know
of
how
aware of-
short, how long.
aware of time, exactly. So
Yeah, the same thing happened to me in my near-death experience.
Okay.
I couldn't quantify the time.
oh right,
It could have been a moment, or it could have been forever.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So what actually happened?
Okay. I found myself sometimes, because I was under the anesthesia, so I can't specify what time it happened.
Yeah.
But when I got out of anesthesia, then I realized that during some time I was somewhere else. It was a kind of a valley-like of a place, surrounded by hills, like it's surrounded by hills, and small hills. And where I was, my presence was, there was kind of a shade over there. There was a large source of light on the other side, and the light was falling on the other end of the valley. And I had some questions in my mind, like where.
So you could think?
Yes, yes.
Right.
Like where I am, who I am, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And then as soon as my question would finish, answer would pop up in my mind, you can say. I was communicating to somebody at a higher intellect level or a super level. I don't know whom I was talking to or communicating with. And the answer, before the question would finish, even before answer would pop up.
Wow.
And I was told, like, in addition to other things, in short, I was told that I was not the center of the universe.
Okay.
And the other thing, I was told that all the answers are within me. Like I was asking the questions, they say, why are you asking the questions when you have all the knowledge and it's within you? You have to look inside rather than outside for the answers. And then
That's very, very Buddhist, actually.
it is. Somebody else told me at Root Institute too.
Yeah.
And then I was shown, when I was told that I'm not the center of universe, then I was shown, my presence goes near the gap between the hills, and I saw the earth spinning on its axis and
Wow.
moving, and other planets, and some galaxies I saw.
Wow.
That made me feel like how infinitesimally insignificant I'm in a bigger picture of the universe.
Yeah.
I always thought I was very important, I'm very intelligent,
I see.
I'm big, I'm strong,
Yeah, sure.
those kind of things.
Yeah, yeah.
So then what happened was, where I was, as I told you, there was a kind of a shade up there, clouds, as you can say. Then those started thinning out and light started falling on me.
So can I just say that you had this experience of the valley, and then you change quickly, and then have the experience of the galaxies and
Oh, no,
planets,
no,
or
no,
it was
no.
you were looking up and you said,
My presence goes near the hills. There was a gap between the hills.
and then through the gap.
So in that gap, the things were
I
passing
see.
around.
Wow. It's very dreamlike, yeah.
Like
like a
small view I had of all the things. And then where I was standing, Then the light started falling where my presence was. I wasn't there physically. It was all I could see my presence. I could feel my presence there. And the light started falling on me. And that was the most wonderful, peaceful, blissful experience.
Blissful.
Bliss is the word for that. My mind, all the turbulences stopped.
Right.
All the questions, they stopped. There was no good thoughts, there were no bad thoughts. It just ceased everything. It was a smooth line kind of a thing, my brain activity.
Okay.
And that was the most wonderful experience I had in my life.
Wow. So
And
then you would say to others now to not be scared of death?
I would. I would. Fear of death, as far as I'm concerned, for me is totally gone.
Right.
And I'll tell everybody that it's just a transition.
Okay.
It's a transition.
Sure.
It's nothing to be afraid of death.
Okay.
Yeah. And after that, I was told that it was not my time
All right.
yet. And I didn't see me entering in my body like other people describe.
Mm-hmm.
My experience ended over there.
I see.
And then I woke up whenever.
Right.
Yeah. And when I checked with my surgeons later on about the activity inside the operation theater,
Uh-huh.
they have all the records over there in America.
Right. Okay.
And I was flatlined for 1 minute and 48 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. During the transplanting of the heart when they were putting it in.
Yeah. Right.
So I relate that experience to that particular time.
Sure.
Yeah. So it was a wonderful experience that has changed my life totally.
Yeah.
I was a very objective person.
Yeah.
My family is very, very religious. He met my brothers. They follow Swami Sivananda of Rishikesh for a long time. And I somehow couldn't come around to that.
Right.
Maybe my family was too religious when I was growing up, and it turned me away.
Sure.
And then on top of that, I had my basic education in science. I have a degree in genetics
Mm-hmm.
in those days in 75, 76.
Right.
So I was very, very objective, and I didn't believe anything only from birth till death. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
And I was a kind of an atheist. I didn't
Sure.
believe in God at all. I didn't believe in any spirituality, any force, external or energy or anything like that. But after this experience, at least I'm open to all the things now,
Yeah.
all the possibilities,
Uh-huh.
and that what brought me here
Right. Sure.
on this trip. Because as soon as my doctors cleared me, I thought I should take a trip now
Yeah.
to India, talk to people like you,
Right.
who can put the things. I'm still struggling with my background all this time, like let's say 40 years of background in science and all that. It's hard to come to terms
Sure.
with this experience or absorb it fully.
Sure.
So that's what I'm trying to do, talking to you people, just wandering around.
Jampa, what's your interpretation of the light that he experienced?
Of the light
Yes.
that experience, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I haven't died, so I don't.
Yeah.
I can't sort of give any sort of answer based on my own experience. What I found interesting, what he talked about, was the blissful experience.
Yes.
Because in Buddhism we have there's the sutra teachings and then there's the tantric teachings, and we use bliss in tantra as a form of meditation. And the great masters, once they die, they remain in this blissful state and achieve enlightenment in that blissful state after death sometimes. But that's just
And
being-
what's your position? You're not Lama?
no, I'm not a lama. No.
You're a monk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just someone who's interested in Buddhism, and I try and practice.
But I believe you have shunned all the worldly things.
I try as best I can. Yeah, I try as
It's
best
hard.
I can. It's hard.
It's
yeah.
hard.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest,
don't
I
know.
try as best I
For
can.
last couple of months, it has started happening to me. I have started like disassociating with most of the things, my relationships
Oh.
and all that. I don't know. It's automatically happening. I'm not making any effort, voluntary effort to it. I don't feel very close. I love my kids, my wife, no two things about it. But I don't feel that kind of attachment like other people feel. They're pretty independent. I'm pretty independent.
I guess this experience you've had has probably opened up your mind so
Yeah.
much.
See,
so that you've kind of your whole
See,
experience of life is
the
different.
other day, like about a month before we came here, I went for a walk around more in the morning, about 7, 8 o'clock, sitting on the bench in the park, and I meditated like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I started realizing I was in the moment at that time.
Right.
I started very faint kind of a wind was blowing. I started feeling it on back of my neck, back of my ears. It was very interesting experience. Very happy experience, peaceful. And then all of a sudden, this thing came in my mind. I said, let's go home now. And nobody is at my place. My wife works and kids are gone.
Yeah.
And then I came home. I started realizing. Then I started thinking, why this feeling came to me? Why all of a sudden I wanted to come home? What it is all about? And then I thought, maybe I feel secure in my house. Or we all are like that, like after finishing whatever we are doing, we run to our home and all that. We don't wait to enjoy anything around. And what I did, I said, that's not right. This bonding with the house should break too. And then I slept outside my house for 3 days. So what I'm telling
You slept outside your house for 3 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just to break that, to disassociate from the house. So I don't know, something is happening to me. Maybe I'm going crazy.
No. I wouldn't say that. Yeah. I mean, with such an incredible experience that you've had, things will definitely change, I think. But you just have to take it slowly, you know, and be gentle with yourself.
I'm not pushing anything. I'm just taking it very easy and very free mind, very open, and listening to people and all that.
Sure.
Yeah, things will take its own time.
That's right.
During its own course. Everything takes its own course in life, I guess.